in this video, I'm going to be creating an AI agent that plays Flappy Bird. Now, this tutorial is for anyone who's interested in the gaming side of AI and want to start off with a simple project. This tutorial will be split off into two videos. In this first video, I'm going to be creating the game side of the project, so creating Flappy Bird. And in the second video, I'm going to be creating the agent as well as the model for the agent. So with that all out of the way, let's get started. So before we start, I want to quickly explain to you what I'm going to be using for my project. So the IDE I'm going to be using is Visual Studio Code. You can use whatever IDE you want, but this is the one that I chose because I'm most used to it. The second thing I want to mention is I'm going to be using Pygame, which is a Python library that allows you to create games. And I'm also going to be using PyTorch to create the model for the agent. So yeah, let's get started. So the first thing that we want to do is create our folder. So cd I already have my folder created, and let's install all our libraries for our project. So I already have all the necessary prerequisites installed, but if you haven't, you should do this step. So let's install Pygame, install PyTorch, and you also want to install NumPy. This is mostly to help with the machine learning. Now let's move on to creating our files. So we're going to be creating 4 files. The first one being game py. This is going to be where we're going to create our game loop. Next, we're going to be creating our agent. We're going to be creating the model for the agent, and we're also going to be creating a classes. So the first thing that we're going to do is import all our libraries. So import Pygame. We're going to initialize our Pygame and also the font for our score counter. We're also going to be creating our constants. So screen width, screen height, our gravity, our jump strength, type speed, white, and black. Next, let's also create our screen or our display window. So Pygame display set mode, screen width, and screen height. Let's create our let's set the title of the display window. So set caption Flappy Bird, and let's also create our in-game clock to affect the frame rate. So time clock. So the next thing we're going to be doing is creating our pipe and our bird classes. So import Pygame into this file as well. Create our pipe class. Create the constructor. And we're going to be creating our draw function. So this color right here, we're going to be setting it to green. We're going to have green pipes. Sorry. self.width and self.height. Yeah, okay. The next thing we're going to be creating is our collision function. We're going to be doing within the pipe class. So we're going to be using Pygame's collision function instead of creating our own because I'm lazy. So collide rect. Alright. That's everything for the pipe class. Now let's create our bird class. So create the constructor. And we're also going to be creating a draw function as well for this class. Let's make the bird red. Actually, let's make it yellow. What is the yellow value? Okay, let's make it yellow. Okay. Yeah. All right, and those are gonna be our classes. Now let's import this module to our game file as well. So classes. Yeah, so now let's move on to our game class. So we're gonna call it Flappy Bird, create our constructor. Gonna initialize all, we're gonna be initializing all of our states. So we're gonna have our bird, gonna have our pipe, gonna have our fonts, and we're also gonna have some other stuff we're gonna initialize. So let's start off with the bird. Classes, let's initialize, or let's create a new instance of our bird class. So, and set our x and y values in there. As we can see, those are our arguments, our parameters. Now let's move on to our pipes. So we're gonna have a vertical gap between pipes variables, set it to 250 for now. We can have our top pipe height and our bottom pipe height, set it to a random number that we're gonna be generating from a function later in this video. We're gonna have our initial top X position, set it to screen width. We're gonna have our initial Y top pipe Y position, set it to equal 0. We're also gonna have our bottom pipe initialization. So pipe X equals screen width. Bottom pipe Y equals screen height minus bottom pipe height. Okay. Alright, and then we're gonna create an array to hold all of our pipes throughout the entire game. So pipe r equals okay. I'm gonna create an instance of a pipe. So self init top pipe x, init top pipe y, top pipe height. So this is gonna be our top pipe. Now we're gonna create our bottom pipe. And the last variable for the pipes, we're gonna create a first pipe x and set it to the first index. We're gonna set it to the top pipe x value. So this variable is gonna be important for when we're gonna be creating new pipes, and we want to separate them like the Flappy Bird game. So just to give you a visualization, here we have our birds going to be in the middle of the screen. We have our pipes. Oh, let me just draw that a little better. Whatever. We're going to have our pipe, and then we also want to have more pipes spawn within a gap. So this is how we're gonna calculate the new pipe's x value. Next on, let's move on to the font. So self font size 600. And the final thing we're going to be initializing is our score set to 0 and whether we're done the game set to false for now. Alright, now let's create all of our functions for this pipe class. So the first function we're going to be creating is the randomized pipe height self, and for now let's just pass. We're going to be creating all our functions first and then writing the logic for it afterwards. Next thing we're going to create is our event handler, self, and also pass. So I'm going to be creating a generate pipes, delete pipes, def date bird, get state, and the final function we're going to be creating is the place step, self and an action. You don't have to worry about the action for now. That's going to be for when we're creating our agent. This is also for agent. Okay, let's begin with the randomized pipe height function. So to do this, we're just going to set a minimum pipe height. That way, the height of the pipe doesn't go below 0 or below 50. Sorry. We're gonna set our height top equals random.randint. Oh, yeah. We're gonna also have to import the random library. So random.randint pipe min height. Oh yeah, so our minimum pipe height for the top pipe is going to be the variable we just set, and the maximum pipe height is going to be screen height minus the vertical gap between pipes, and also the pipe min height. All right, and for the bottom pipe, we're gonna set it to the screen height minus height 1 minus self.vertical gap between pipes. And then also we're gonna return an array of height top and height bottom. All right, next thing we're gonna be writing is our event handler. So all we need is a way to exit the game. So this is how you do it within Pygame. Create a for loop. Type equals Pygame quit. We're gonna set our done variable to true. And if event dot type equals Pygame dot key down and dot key equals Pygame dot k escape. So this is this one is for when we click the X button on the display window, and this one's going to be for escape button. Yeah, so close on escape button, close when clicking X button. All right. The next thing we're gonna do is create the generate pipes logic. So first thing we want to do is set a maximum number of pipes that exist within game. So to do that, we're just gonna check if the length of our pipe array is less than 3. Then we're going to be generating our pipes. So our top pipe height, bottom pipe height is gonna equal our self.randomize pipe height. And then we're also gonna set a horizontal gap between pipe. Gap between pipes is equal 400. And then for pipe pair, so the top and bottom pipe in self.pipe r. For pipe in pipe pair, we're going to be setting the last pipe x to pipe x. And then after all that, we're going to be appending our top and pipe pair to the array. So to do that, we're just gonna create a new instance of our pipe. So pipe self.last pipe x plus horizontal gap between pipes 0 top pipe pipe. And in our arguments, when we created our pipe class, these are the values that we're going to be putting with for our pipes. And then for the bottom pipe, we're going to be creating another one. So self last pipe x plus horizontal gap between pipes, screen height minus bottom pipe height, and then bottom pipe height. So this is our x value, our y value, and our height. X value, y value, height. All right, and yeah, that's it for this function. Let's move on to the delete pipes function. So in this one, we just want to Actually, we're not going to be needing this function. Let's just get that out of here. Now let's move on to our update bird function. So to update our bird, we're just going to be getting the velocity and adding our, incrementing it by the gravity, and then incrementing the y value of our bird to the velocity. All right, and then our score display, text surface equals self font true black, and then need to put it on our screen. So position. Okay, and then we're just gonna skip this step for now. For our reset game, all we're gonna do is when the bird dies, we're gonna reinitialize all of this, reinitialize the state of the game. So that's gonna be our pipes, our bird, the score, and yeah. So you can just copy and paste it from here. Yeah. All right. So now let's work on our play step, which is what we're gonna be putting in our game loop. So the first thing that we gotta do is we gotta fill this background with white, and we're also gonna draw the bird onto the screen. Next, we're gonna call some functions that we created. So event handler, display score, and also we're gonna be setting some values. So done equals false, and first pipe pair equals first self dot first self dot pipe r0. Okay, and first thing we're gonna do is implement some logic when the bird passes the pipe. So how we're gonna do it is alright, so when the bird, okay, so we have our pipes, we have our bird. Now when the bird reaches around here, we're gonna delete these pipes from the pipe array so that it pops, and we're also gonna increment the score to 1. So let's do that right now. If self.bird.x is greater than pipe pair plus first pipe pair 0.width, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna increment the score by 1, and we're also gonna pop the pipe from the array. So this is, we're just deleting the first pipe within the array. Okay, next thing we're gonna do is generate or draw all our pipes onto the screen. So pipe in I guess it would be pipes in I. Pipe x minus equal the speed of the pipe, and we're also gonna draw onto the screen. Should I? Yeah, okay, that's fine. And then we're also gonna check if the collision, oh sorry, right, if pipe's collision is to self bird, then we're going to set done equals true, and oh wait, okay, sorry. We're gonna set done to true. We're gonna reset the game, and we're also going to return done. Reset game. Okay, now we're going to work on the collision for the top and bottom of the screen. So when the bird exceeds the height of the screen or goes above or below 0, then we're going to reset the game as well. So if the bird, the y of the bird plus the height is greater than the screen height, or if the bird is less than 0, then we are going to set done equals true. We're going to reset the game, and we're also going to turn done. All right. And now the last thing we gotta do is set display flip clock tick, set it to 60 frames. All right, and that is all we're gonna be doing for the Flappy Bird class. And now let's work on the game loop. So Flappy Bird, we set an instance of Flappy Bird, and let's create our game loop. So while true, we're gonna set done to equal the game dot play step, and then we're gonna say if done, just gonna break out of the loop, and then if thunder name equals main, we're gonna call our game loop, and then once the game loop is done, we're gonna quit Pygame, so we clear anything from the memory just in case. And yeah, let's see if this works. So let's Python game py, and I forgot to save my file. So Python update bird, oh, semicolon, save. Forgot on auto save here. Import Pygame. Oh, I see. Okay. File save all, and forward given. What have we done? Randomize pipe top. Oh, yeah, we're supposed to subtract that. Let's see if it works now. Okay. Just doing some quick bug fixing here. Right. Height top. Height bot. Okay. Well. It's also, I'm pretty sure we don't need this. All right, let's see if it works. And I forgot to save it again. Okay, there we go. now we have our game. So that's all for today's video. In the next video, I'm going to be showing you the AI part of this project. So if you want to check that out, please check out my channel, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.